I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers.
Welcome back into the Beers and Balls Show. My name is Eddie, and I'll be the host of the show, and I'm joined by always my co-host, Drew. Drew, I think you're happy today.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm having a good Sunday, man. I'm happy. What about you?
I'm not having a good Sunday.
I was expecting that answer.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy, but I'm not mad. If that's an easy way to put it. I'm not happy, but I'm not mad. I'm heartbroken, but not by the game. I'm heartbroken because of Tucker Craft, and we're going to get more into that in this episode. But before we get to all of that, let's make sure we like, subscribe, and comment down below. Whatever team you're rooting for, whatever team you won or lost this Sunday, the parlays you lost, all the heartbreaks or the excitement, make sure you comment it down below. We'll get you on the show. We'll start talking some ball. Make sure to follow us on our Instagram at the Beers and Balls Show. And Drew, before we get into the painful stab in the heart that you gave me today, let's drink some beer.
Let's do it.
Cheers, brother.
You should be drinking.
I've been drinking beer. I probably should be drinking whiskey.
Need some.
It's a good game, though. Is this not the exact game that I kind of was talking about all week on the best path for the Panthers to win today?
I don't know, man. I think you were kind of more worried about Tet. I mean, even though he had a solid day, I don't think he was your biggest problem.
Yeah, I was worried about him, but I'm talking about the possessions. I said if it was an 8 to 9 possession game, you were going to be in it at the end to win. And if it was a 12 to 15 possession game, it would have been a boat race. And I think they only had 9 possessions. I think
The Packers.
No, both teams both teams, because there was no turnover differential. I think by maybe 1 from the Panthers. I think the Panthers stole 1 possession off of that fumble. But outside that, I think they only had like 8-9 possessions. They only had 3 in the first half. And I think they maybe only had 4 or 5 in the second half.
Yeah, total plays. Y'all had almost 10 more total plays than us. Total drives. We each had 7 total drives.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of muck up the game, slow an explosive offense down. You'll always keep an NFL team will always keep themselves in the game by limiting to that many possessions.
Yeah. Okay. So from your perspective, from a Packers fan watching this game at Lambeau Field at 1:00 today, take me through, kind of quarter by quarter, half by half, however you want to do it. What you were thinking, what was happening, and just kind of take us through it, man.
Well, it's kind of up and down. Let's start in the first quarter. Well, I think first thing we have to talk about before we get into the first quarter is like the conditions. It was very, very windy, very, very windy. There was gust up to almost 30 miles per hour. It was already kind of cold. So the kicking game played a big part of this game going into it. So in the first quarter, I think the Panthers have their first drive. They get all the way down into the red zone, throw an interception. Bryce throws an interception that the wind might have taken. That's where it could have played a part. Because I don't know where he was throwing that ball. And there's a lot of questionables in this game by the quarterbacks. A lot of questionable throws. But I don't know where that one was going. And then the Packers take the ball after the interception. They go down to about the exact part of the same field, fumble. So that kind of told me everything I needed to know about this game. It was going to be ugly. It was going to be dirty. And it was going to be a close game throughout. Now, what surprised me, especially in the first half, because I've been talking a lot of shit about Rico Dowdle. Now, I wouldn't say shit, but I've been kind of talking him down a little bit, saying that he wasn't going to be able to do this against the Packers defense. Now, he didn't have the game that he's used to having when he has a full-time role. He had his 25 carries that you predicted.
He did, and we won.
You are a witch, a sorcerer. I'm never talking to you again after today because you have black magic, and I don't appreciate it. Which was so crazy because I remember when the game ended. I'll get to that part. The game ended. I look over at the wife Holly, and I'm like, This fucking asshole said 25 carries to win, and he got 25 carries. What the fuck?
Man, it's crazy, man. It is crazy.
Then we get into the second quarter. I mean, it was just an ugly game. It was the first quarter looked the same as the second quarter. The second quarter looked the same as the third. The third looked exactly the same as the fourth. Both these teams fucking sucked on offense when it came to scoring points. They fucking sucked, and it was disappointing. But I want to give the Panthers a ton of credit, and I want to tell you why I give them a ton of credit. Number one is the red zone defense. That was some of the best red zone defense I've seen in the NFL in a long time. You know, it was the right look that you're giving and then being able to execute it. It was an absolute bend but don't break defense. You didn't let the speed beat you. You didn't let the crossers beat you that the Packers wanted to run. And you played one hell of a red zone defense. And then
we definitely did. And I think that's usually where we've always kind of shined. You know, when we get backed up in the red zone, some reason we kind of end up turning it on. But you know, like you said, we played extra good today, and you know we'll get into that more. But you know, keep going about your synopsis.
Yeah, and I also want to give a lot of credit to the Packers defense. You know, it doesn't look good on paper. You know, or watching the game, it doesn't look good. But in the presser today, Micah Parsons flat out stated facts. Not many times in the NFL world that we live in where a quarterback throws for 100 yards or just over 100 yards, do they win? Like you as a defense are expecting to win when that happens. And Bryce Young started the game 4 of 4 for 36 yards. It had nothing to show for it, so I knew Bryce wasn't going to be the marker that beats us. And he finished the game 7 of 16 for 66 yards after that. And Green Bay lost. So as much as people want to point the fingers at letting Rico run wild, like Rico could have had that game plus 75 yards, and if the Green Bay offense just would have opened their eyes, or if Brandon McManus knew how to kick a fucking ball, they would have won this game. But no. The biggest opponent against the Green Bay Packers are the Green Bay Packers. And this happens year after year after year. And for some reason, Matt LaFleur can't figure it out. He is his own worst nightmare. He called a terrible fucking game. You have all these dynamic receivers, and on 3rd and 8, you're throwing a fucking screen pass. What are you doing, man?
Yeah, that's definitely frustrating, especially, when you got a lot of deep threats in a guy who can sling it like Jordan Love. So I definitely see that. Is there anything else kind of in the game like that you want to touch?
Josh Jacob tried his best. He tried his best with linemen who couldn't give less of a fuck to try for him. This offensive line was fucking dog shit. Like, you would have thought, if you saw this game on paper before, you're like, oh, well, Green Bay's offensive line is going to be able to do great. Panthers' offense is going to struggle. I mean, they're mixing, matching, 15th different starting offensive linemen. Now you got 2 guys go down. That was a recipe for struggle. No. How many times did just a random blitzer come unguarded on a blitz from the Panthers? How many times? Like, that is just ridiculous. Like, what'd you do all day during practice? You had 3 practices. What'd you do? And it wasn't like some sophisticated blitz package that was being sent at him. He was coming right down the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking bad, man. It's just, you were unprepared, you were unwilling, and you were undisciplined. That is what lost you this game. Because you were unprepared with a game plan. You were unwilling to trigger on run plays and go make a tackle at the point of attack. And you were undisciplined because every other play, it was a fucking holding call.
Yeah, so since... Damn, I lost my train of thought there.
No, you're good.
I'll say, okay, so my bad. All right, here we go. So since you guys lost, and coaches don't really give out game balls when they lose. The other side of my question is always who's going to get clowned in the film room, who's to blame.
Here's the best part. It's going to be the fucking coach that gets clowned. He's going to one that's going to be the clown because he's got to look through this footage. He's got to look back. And he had the fucking audacity. The fucking audacity to get back up on the mic at the press conference. I got to do better. No fucking shit. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for telling me something I already fucking know. Every fucking loss. It's not, this play call was it. This play call. I got to do better. I got to shit like twice a week. What? We all know this. Yeah. Like, of course.
Do you think he needs to do better in his play calling or having his team disciplined?
No, it's not his play calling. His play calling's fine. It's his scheme. It's how he develops plays over play. Everybody gets on his ass about, this was a terrible play call. He just doesn't have any stemming plays. He's having a really hard time taking a play that is only like a 2-yard gain that's something that's supposed to set up for something later in the game. He's not being able to accomplish that. He's not accomplishing that. It really looks like I'm watching somebody have 150 plays, use 70 of them, and throw them at the wall, hoping it works. Because this is clear as day unprepared. This team, in no facet, should only score 13 points. Now, the Panthers have a good defense, and that's what a lot of people aren't talking about. They've got a top 15, if not top 10 defense all around. People don't talk about that. But still, I don't care. This offense is supposed to be one of the most explosive offenses in the league. 13 points? I would have thought that half the team was out to only score 13 points. Now, it got to that point near the end. But that's no excuse. That is zero excuses for them losing this game. Absolutely zero. And I ain't going to make one for them. I'm not going to sit here and say, Matthew Golden got hurt, and this guy got hurt, and Aaron Banks got hurt. And no. This is the National Football League where professionals play football. Just like the Panther players get played when their offensive linemen went down and still were able to play, your asses should have been able to. Look in the fucking mirror when you get home. This was piss poor. And the craziest part is, too, Drew, we're going to come out on Monday night next week and beat Philly by like 14 points. That's the crazy part. That is the absolute crazy part, is that we're going to come out next Monday night against Philly and beat them. And we lost today. And here's the best part. Here's where I'm not very mad. I'm mad about execution, and I'm so heartbroken about Tucker Kraft's injury. Because that means, like, that Tucker Kraft injury hurts more than, like, a 3-game losing streak. It really does.
Yeah, I think he was a big hit to your offense.
I'm praying to the Lords. It's only an MCL sprain. It didn't look. It looked weirdly a lot like Jordan Love's injury last year. Weirdly, just when I watched it slow mo. But I'm leaning back on my being a doctor and shit. That I'm gonna make my own diagnosis for that one. But here's the thing. It was a bad game, terrible and everything like that. And I'm very much happy for you as my friend and my co-host. I'm happy for you. But this game meant nothing because the Lions lost.
Yeah.
That's it. The Lions lost. And a bunch of good teams lost today, too. So the Packers still stand at the top of the NFC North. So it was kind of just like a trash can game, which is exactly how the fuck they played. Now, before we switch go, because I want to hear your synopsis on this game, let's drink some more beer.
Let's do it.
I got to tell you what, Drew, I drank a lot of beer today. I pulled out some shenanigans that I rarely pull out. You'll remember this, too, in this game. I'll tell you about this before I get to your synopsis. It was right there at the end. It was still 13-6. And the Panthers had the ball. And I think it was about the top of the fourth. No. Yeah, it was top of the fourth when the Packers had that 4th and 8 where Jordan Love just running for his life. Throw it up to who knows? I don't know. I mean, Romeo Dobbs is clearly out of bounds before he even throws it. Like, kick the goddamn field goal, move. We'll get into that fucking kicker talk. We'll get there. But I was telling myself, I was like, all right, if they get points here, I'm going to shotgun a beer. I'm shotgun a beer. I'm trying to will this team back together because currently, whatever's happening in this world right now, they're not doing it. And then so Carolina Panthers get the ball back, and I'm like, all right, if the defense gets a stop, actually, when the Carolina Panthers get the ball back, I tell myself in my head, in between these two ears, I say, I'm gonna go shotgun a beer for the defense. So I go shotgun a beer for the defense. Defense gets a stop. They get a stop. I'm like, holy shit! All right, something's working. I got the voodoo. And I was like, all right, well, fuck, I got shotgun another beer for the offense. So I go shotgun another beer for the offense. They go score a touchdown. I was like, fuck. Pretty hammered at this point. Pretty hammered at this point. I was like, okay, gotta stop. Gotta do a shotgun to get a stop. Third one did not prevail. My third shotgun didn't prevail. And I know I owe you something. I'm going to give them to you tomorrow. Before I go into like some fucking alcohol poisoning today.
Good. Don't worry.
But give us your synopsis on the game.
Man, it was insane because I was so nervous. The first half of the game, it seemed like we were gonna give it away, especially on y'all's first drive, and then we had that turnover, and I was like, okay, we might have something going on here. But the main thing was when I saw Rico coming out, and he got all those carries and basically the whole first drive, I was like, okay, I think we might have figured something out here because finally Dave is listening to what everybody's been saying and what should have been done the past 2 games, which was Rico should have been starting and running the ball. And because when we get our run game going, we can get our pass game going. But anyway, we weren't scoring like y'all were. We were moving down the field and then we'd have a turnover. We just couldn't get in the end zone very well. Tet had a drop. He should have had that one in the end zone. But other than that, and then once we got after the halftime, it was kind of just, honestly, you guys just kind of beat yourself in that second half. There were so many penalties that went in our favor, and Jordan Love threw 2 horrible passes to, I don't know who he was looking at or what he thought he was throwing to, but it went right to our players, and thank you for that. And
you're welcome.
So honestly, I'm not saying we played great, but a big thing in NFL is capitalizing on the other team's mistakes, and that's what we did today. And I think you guys kind of beat yourself in that second half. We were able to keep up with you in the first half, and luckily we just rode it out.
Yeah, and you're spot on exactly what you were saying. It was an ugly game. I don't know if either of these offenses played well. A lot of people are going to give Jordan Love a lot of flack for 2 plays. Statistically, he was fantastic. He was 26 of 37 for 273 yards and 1 interception. And with that interception, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. My thought process when I watched it, I was like, the wind's in his back. Maybe he thinks that ball carries a little bit, and it just died. It just absolutely died. And I don't know. In the run game, I mean, quietly, Josh Jacobs did great. He had 17 for 87. But Rico had 25 for 130. And the point is, Rico looked like 2016 or 17 Le'Veon Bell. Like, he was so patient at the point of attack where he had the ball, where the only thing I was like screaming about is these linebackers that the Packers have done a wonderful job at just piercing the line of scrimmage to get to the back. But they were just waiting for Rico. So every time he got the ball, he was going to get at least 3 yards a carry, it felt like.
Yeah.
It was just exhausting to watch over and over again because he had more carries than Bryce Young had passing attempts. Him himself. Not to say that, and Chuba also had 5, So there was 30. There was a 10-play differential between the plays. And at no point was Bryce Young going to get sacked this game outside of maybe 2 plays. There was just he was snapping the ball and throwing it. There was at no point. So I mean, like people say like, "Oh, where was Micah Parsons?" I was like, "Fucking trying to get off the damn line of scrimmage." He was. I mean, it wasn't like he was getting stonewalled and Bryce Young had all day and getting the ball out. I mean, he was snapping and he had every play he had a predetermined receiver who he was throwing to. Now, let's get into some of these flags. Let's get into like the officiating a little bit. Because I thought that they were holding, like a lot of the holding calls, a lot of the penalties on the Packers, like the holding calls were, it's holding outside of like maybe like 1 or 2. It was like, it's ticky-tack. Like that one on Derek Brown where Derek Brown's like falling to the ground. I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's a hold. That's a hold.
Man, he pulled him down.
I know, but I'm saying like that's a hold. Like there's no doubt about it. But some of these other ones, it was like, why are you calling holding on every play? Like it was like Jesus. And it also looked like Lance, whatever his name was, referee. Every time he called something on the Panthers, it like hurt him. It looked like it physically hurt him. It was just like illegal formation.
Yeah.
Panthers. But he was all fucking excited, fucking holding, fucking 75 Packers, move those asses back 5 yards. Whatever.
Right.
You know, it just looked like it pained the referee to call something on the Panthers. It looked like if maybe I was just seeing it that way, and I always say play through the refs bullshit, so I'm not going to sit up here and say the refs screwed us. I'm not that guy. I'll tell you who screwed us. The fucking head coach did. That fucking idiot is the one that screwed us. But it did seem a little like ticky-tacky with some of these penalties. You know, the one with Xavier Legette in the back, I thought that should have been holding instead of DPI. And the reason why is because there's a big difference. I mean, it's a half the distance of the one because Legette still had an opportunity to catch the ball. He dropped it. Like, it didn't impede on him being able to catch the ball. He took 3 steps and then threw his arms up. You know, it was just like, all right, come on. Like, he's a big physical player. He was within 5 yards. You can do it. You can fucking rob somebody within 5 yards. And then he releases, not touching him. Legette goes up to catch the ball, and it's a drop. You got rewarded for a drop. You know, not that it changed anything in the game. The Panthers were going to score on that drive no matter what. I was just like, all right, we really calling this right now? Like,
I guess because he had already threw the ball. Like, it was kind of like
it was
throw. So that's what they were saying on the broadcast.
Yeah.
They were like, it'd be holding if he hadn't have thrown it yet.
God, I wanted to punch Greg Olsen after the Packers scored. He's like, go for 2, go for 2. You just got to go for 2. I'm like, shut up, Greg. You already kicked a field goal. Move on.
Yeah.
Move the fuck on, Greg. We're like
Yeah,
we're like 4 plays past the extra point. Move the fuck on.
And then the Panthers went on their drive. He'd be like, see, they wouldn't have this problem if they went for 2. If they went for 2, they wouldn't have this problem.
Just calm down. It's like, shut up, dude. I don't care. You know,
It was
and
so
I mean, I think that 19-yard run to seal it with Rico was a big fucking play.
Yeah.
It was, and I just, it was just something. It was
third name.
Yeah,
Call.
it was just not computing in my head on how successful he was running the ball. I just couldn't get it.
I'm telling you, man. I've been telling you. I've been like, Dave needs to start this, man. I've been like, come on.
And I was like, God, this guy's so fucking tough too, because he'd be like grabbing at his groin. And the first time he did, I was like, fuck, he might be done. You know, groins are tough to keep battling through. His ass would come back in for 3 more plays and go back out with the same groin injury. I'm just like, what are they giving him? Some fucking roids over there to just keep going?
Yeah,
popping him with a tortazol shot?
Yeah, man. He just runs angry too, man. It's just like, hell yeah. Like, it's just good old physical football, man. And that's where I'm really proud of our O-line, man, because we had a lot of injuries and
it was physical.
I was surprised the amount of push they were able to get off the line, especially in those goal line situations when y'all were stacking the box. Usually we don't get those, but man, they were getting it today.
Yeah, I mean, and this was, I mean, as a football fanatic and lover of the game, you know, Packers fandom aside, I loved how physical this football game was.
Yeah,
you get back to the basics, you know, style of having to make tackles because too much times in this NFL it's just 45 passes, and teams don't have to they don't have to do anything. They don't barely have to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So I love as a lover of the game of football, it was fun to watch a physical matchup on both ends. Now let's get to something a little controversial, and I think it was the second drive. Bryce Young running to the left starts just basically celebrating before he gets out of bounds. Fair hit by Edrin Cooper, or do you think that flag should have stood on that hit out of bounds?
It's legal, but it's frowned upon. You know what I mean?
Man, fuck your quarterback. Get your ass out of bounds before you start celebrating. Slow down when you get out of bounds.
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't have done that. But, he didn't have to assault him. But, I get it. He was still in the play.
Yeah, because I think what the thing was that really got me was going. It's yeah, fucking hit that guy harder. Was he was already celebrating the first down as he was still running.
He was playing up.
Yeah, and it's all right, dude, you want to fucking go on about it? Here, I'll say. And the thing is, it was a legal play, and if we're all looking at everything, equally, since it was no penalty. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess once you're on the other team's sideline, you can get assaulted by 18 players. Fair game,
John at him. They didn't hit him or nothing.
Hey, get out of the way. You're not in the play. You're not on the field. Get out of the way. I know. That's ticky-tacky. I know. I just thought that was fun.
In the moment when it happened, I thought it was a late hit just because of the way it
I thought it was too.
And I was like, oh, hell no.
As it got closer, I looked. I was like, nah, that fucker was in bounds still. I weirdly see when I'm watching the game, I weirdly see something in the end, and I'm like, I don't know, his ass is still in bounds because Edrin Cooper's a very, very smart player, and he's not gonna overly do some things like that. But these linebackers, because I think it's something that's going around league wide with quarterbacks just not going out of bounds, but slowing up or freeing up because it's hard. But it's now that quarterbacks are still kind of trying to continue down because they know they can just take one step and out of bounds, the extra 15. You're gonna start seeing a lot more quarterbacks get mauled while inbound still. If you so worried about it, you're so fragile, get your ass out of bounds.
Yeah.
Just get you already got the first down. Now you're just jogging. I don't know at what point on an NFL field where the play is live and you feel like jogging is okay. That's the result you're gonna get. That's the result you're gonna get.
Yeah, so like I said, it was 100% legal. It was just kind of frowned upon because he was kind of giving himself up. But you said,
can't you can't be standing and give yourself up. Fuck that.
He wasn't even looking downfield. He was literally looking.
Not my problem. Hey, you could do that out of bounds. You could do, or you could slide.
And Bryce is just a nice young man. He doesn't want to hurt nobody. You didn't have to do all that.
Yeah, but when you start gesturing first down as this psychopath is running at you, that's probably not a good idea. That's probably not a good idea.
No, it was just funny, man.
No, he was, and it was the right call. And I definitely agree with you. If the roles were reversed, I'd be like, all right, dude, that's just unnecessary. He's already going out of bounds. It's unnecessary. Yeah. I agree. But me being on the defensive side, I'm like, nah, fuck that, fuck him up.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it was legal, but just slightly frowned upon, especially by the NFL.
I mean, the NFL doesn't like it.
As soon as you hit them, they were like,
yeah.
There you hit a quarterback.
Got to protect that shield. Now, what do you
want?
want?
Even saw Roseboom, when Roseboom came up the middle, up at Jordan Love.
I know.
And he was right there, and Jordan Love threw it, and Roseboom jumped back so he wouldn't hit him.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is getting ridiculous.
Now let's talk about the defensive performance against this Packers offense. And all week you were spot on. Just got to blitz them. Just send them. Got to blitz them. And spot on. I mean, there were so many times that the Panthers were able to blitz this Packers offense, and they just didn't pick it up. They were just Elton Jenkins probably had the center for the Green Bay Packers, had probably the worst game he's ever had in his career. He was playing center like a guard, where he didn't have to offset somebody else and still control that middle point. It was really bad because all the blitzes at Jordan Love came right up the pipe, right up the middle. And if he didn't get blitzed up the middle, I mean, he was doing fine, It wasn't really much edge pressure because we had that one sack. Mm-hmm. But it was just, What made this Panthers blitz work that they were doing?
We just showed a lot of different exotic kind of blitz looks that I haven't seen us do all year. So I think, Ajero Evero has been kind of keeping something in the bag for a game like this, where we could really throw it out there, man, because I've seen a lot of, stunts where the D linemen were switching and, the linebackers coming in where I didn't think they were going to blitz. So just a great job by disguising all those packages and everything. And, like I said, blitzing up the middle kind of not necessarily eliminates that middle of the field, but makes you look more towards the edges so you're
Yeah.
not thrown over the guys. And those are our two strongest people in the secondary is JC and Mike Jack. So, I think they did a good job of holding up today. And man, it was good to see. On those 4-man rushes, we really weren't getting there, but when we blitzed, it seemed like we were getting home, and we blitzed, I think, a little more frequently than we usually do. So I was happy.
So, who's your game ball going to as the winner of the game? Who's your game ball going to?
Man, it's going to Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle does
Tell me
it
why.
again. I mean, it's just plain and simple. When he's got the ball in his hands, this offense is just electric. Teams are scared of him with the ball in his hands, so they're waiting for him to get the ball. And when we give him the ball, it sets up our play action, and it's able for Bryce to move around and complete passes. And that's what we really needed is our run game, establish our run game, and then everything else will follow. Complementary football starts at the run game for us, and that's what we finally have been doing. So Rico, you get the ball, man. You deserve it. You've been deserving it all year. You should have been starting the past 2 games, but I think we're finally starting to get our head out of our ass.
Now with Chuba coming back in, those 5 rushes he had, I thought that was going to be the turning point for this game where, the Packers couldn't have played a worse game going into the half. They couldn't have played a worse game, only down a point. Rico had been running wild. Kind of this whole game in my mind, because I was like, I've seen this before. Like, Packers play so bad for 3.5 quarters, and then they pull it out of their ass and at the end. I really thought that was going to be like same trajectory here. Kind of watching Chuba, I mean, is there a since now you're only like a game or 2 behind Tampa, do you start being buyers at the trade deadline by moving off Chuba? Do you think maybe there's a potential Chuba trade come Tuesday? Because you got a young Travis Etienne that, I mean, you would have to think that he can produce just as well as Chuba did today, 5 rushes for 17 yards. Like, he ain't going to be any worse, Is that something that may happen before Tuesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time?
I don't see it, man, because I think Chuba's just our long-term guy, and he's a leader of the team. So unless they're having some talks with Rico about extending him, and they know they can get him, then I don't think there's any point in trading Chuba. So we need to have a solid back, and I think he'll be good. So I think he's maybe just a little hurt right now, or something's going on with him. So I think he could just take some time, and he'll be good again. I'm sure he will. But and I think he's a little bit better in the pass game too. Like I think he catches a little better out of the backfield and stuff like that. So I kind of like the 2-back the way they were doing it today. Like give Rico 80% of the carries and throw Chuba in there, and he made a really good heads up play where Bryce fumbled and he ran up there, scooped that ball, and ran it for 6 yards. I mean,
that's a game-changing play right there. That's an absolutely game-changing play because I thought myself that ball, like he was throwing it forward, ended up being a fumble. I mean, that's a field flipper because I think you guys score on that possession. I'm almost certain that you got. I don't know if that was. I think that was your second possession where you ended up getting a touchdown in that possession. So that's an absolute game like heady move of a veteran to come in there.
Yeah, it was a super heads up play by him when I saw him do that, and I was like, okay, that's the Chuba we know, just smart, being on the field, and that's why I think we should keep him. He's a good veteran, he's leader of the team. Doing stuff like that really just makes you show he should be out there. So I don't think we should trade him, unless like I said we get Rico extended. I think we could trade him because if he's not going to be our number one, we don't need to be paying a quarterback, $40-50 million to be the secondary back. So. Like we'll see with Rico, but I don't think he's going to want to re-sign with us, but we'll see. Thanks for sticking around, guys, to the Beer and Ball Show. Please like, comment, subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram where we post all of our new content and reels. Now back to the show.
Welcome back into the Beers and Balls show. We're having some fun today. And, Drew, I'm going to talk to the Packers fans out there that follow us, and I'm going to tell them why it's okay that this game happened. So, Packers fans, listen up, ears open, eyes on me. This season is really following a lot of the trajectories of the 2010 year. You know, we look back at the Cleveland game. We see that, Jordan Love threw that interception at the end of the game, and Cleveland ended up winning. That's comparable to the 2010 game against the then Redskins, now Commanders. Aaron Rodgers threw that game kind of killing interception. Now, here's a little factoid. In 2010, the Packers suffered their second loss by a score of 16-13. Drew, how much did the Packers lose by today? What was the score? That's right. And it was to, no offense, Drew, a subpar team. And in that game, Jermichael Finley tore his ACL. Now, I hope that Tucker Kraft didn't tear his ACL. But all these overreacting Packers fans out there, fucking relax. Fucking relax. We're halfway through the year. You've lost 2 games, 1 tie. You're a good football team. Calm down. Calm down. You lost a game you had no right winning. Almost from the kick. You had no right to win this game. Just be happy that you're 5-2, top of the division. You're going to the playoffs at some point. Relax. Relax. It's okay. It's so hard to win in this league. It is so difficult to win in this league. Every win is just, you celebrate it. And every loss, you just got to go learn from it. And Matt has to do a lot of time in the film room this week, and he will. He will, because we got a big one coming up next Monday. We all internally knew this was going to happen. Every Packers fan that has been a fan for a long time and watches this team religiously just as I do, knew that this was going to happen. That's why I'm not surprised. That's why you weren't surprised on week 3 against the Browns. You weren't surprised. So let's recoup ourselves. Let's pick ourselves back up. Got a great week of practice coming up. Going to have a great week. We're going to, maybe make some moves. Something to get excited about. If this loss did anything, it lit a fire up Goody's ass. Go make a trade, because not only did you need a corner, now you need a tight end. Let's go make something happen this week, hopefully before Tuesday. But this team, this Green Bay Packers team, is good enough to beat anybody. But this Green Bay Packers team is good enough to beat themselves week in and week out. Don't beat yourself. The game is to beat the opponent. Let's go have a fucking good week of football.
Now, I know y'all lost to the Browns, and, they're a subpar team, but, I think in our credit, we got talent, and we're, a solid football team. I think we're kind of figuring out our identity.
Yeah.
And other teams really haven't. So I think that's kind of an advantage maybe we have over teams kind of looking at us. I don't know if you agree or not. That's just kind of just like
and by subpar, it wasn't as subpar as a bad thing. It's a subpar is that like you're not in contention to win the Super Bowl this year. Subpar.
Yeah,
so like it's basically saying like you're middle of the pack. Like I think you figured out your identity, which is probably not the identity that you want it to be. You kind of would expect that Bryce Young being a number 1 overall pick, you'd probably want him to be the focal point, but it is the running game for you, at least in my eyes. That's your identity.
It is.
Run the ball, play decent defense, play amazing red zone defense. Like that seems to be the mold. Yeah. And like we tried to get our explosives, I mean, in all reality, Jordan Love got lucky on like 2 out of those 3 long shots. That first one to Golden, I don't know what he's seeing there. I don't know. I really don't. And I'm not, because the thing is, Golden should have caught it too. Golden should have caught that ball.
Now, speaking of these long shots, I know earlier we were talking about the weather and conditions and how windy it was. Do you think that is a issue on Jordan Love or the coach that going for these deep balls when there's 15, 20-mile-an-hour winds that can possibly affect it?
Well, when it's that high of winds, you want to throw through the wind. So when you throw it up, you're letting the wind dictate the ball. You gotta.
He was chucking it like straight up in the air.
And I love it when he does that too. So I'm not mad at him. I don't want him to stop doing that because I would much rather have my quarterback going to take a big shot than like dinking and dunking and not trying to dictate the game. Because I think he really started taking those shots because Matt wasn't giving him the keys to the car. Like, you're paying this man $55 million a year. Let him go play the fucking sport he's elite at. Stop getting in his way. Like, he threw the ball 37 times, but it felt like he threw it 15 times because, like, 12 of them were behind the line of scrimmage. Like, when Jordan Love was kind of almost let the ability to play quarterback, he fucking shined again today. Big third downs converting them. Whenever he needed to convert a big pass, he did. And it wasn't like, I mean, the interception he threw, I mean, it didn't, like, change the game. It didn't dictate the game. You punted it right after. So it wasn't like this was some back-breaking interception. He was trying to go for, a big play on a third down. So it was basically like a arm punt where he just threw it down there, But he got a great return. That was the bad part of it. The guy got a great return. And it's just disappointing that Matt LaFleur, through 9 weeks of the season, you have this MVP talent at your disposal, and you refuse to let him play the game of football. You refuse to because you want to outsmart somebody. You were just bound and determined to make sure this run game works. You gotta run the ball. I miss the days of like 17, 18 Packers, where like a receiver was our running back, and we didn't even have a run game. We were just throwing the ball around the yard. I miss that. I love Josh Jacobs, but this shit ain't working.
Montgomery, right?
Yeah, you can count on Tyrone, and he was fucking getting it done when he ran it, but goddamn, we weren't running it much. It wasn't as dictating as it is now. Because this line clearly isn't built for this. But the Panthers line is clearly built to run the ball. This Packers offensive line is built to protect and throw the ball around because this shit wasn't working as it did last year. And it isn't Josh Jacobs' fault. It's not like he's dancing behind the line and getting tackled. Ain't nowhere to run. But we still do it, and it's so goddamn predictable. First down, run, every fucking time. Every fucking time on first down, it's a run. And then like 60% of the time on second down, a fucking run. He's calling plays like he doesn't have an elite quarterback behind the center. It's fucking just making me so mad just thinking about it. God, it's like I want to be, on the bus of saying Matt LaFleur needs to give up play calling, but fucking Adam Stenavich ain't going to do any fucking better. Mm-hmm. I don't know what needs to change. Because this team right now, this play calling, this style, is not winning you a fucking lick of shit this way.
So what is the style of team do you think Matt LaFleur is trying to get with this Green Bay offense?
He wants to run the ball and control the clock, but the problem with doing that is you're so explosive when you decide you want to call plays. When you have a plan, because when he schemes up a plan, it's better than almost anybody. When he actually schemes shit up. When he starts throwing shit at the wall, different story. And I'm sure he's just not throwing shit at the wall. I'm sure he has some sort of plan, but plan ain't fucking working. And he does not adjust on the fly very well. He did great against Pittsburgh on adjusting on the fly, but he adjusted, it seemed like nothing. And I am not going to excuse Matthew Golden being out, Dontavian Wicks being out, Tucker Kraft being out. You're an NFL head coach. You're highly paid. Figure it the fuck out. It's adjust. The damn Panthers are playing so much too high zone when they normally play a whole lot of one high safety, a lot of man. Like, they showed every play where their difference is. J.C. Horn was on the boundary side. Mike Jackson to the field. Every time. How in no world you can't work something in there to counter it is insane to me. Like, I don't even know if J.C. Horn got thrown out once all game. I don't even know. I didn't hear his name called, and that's for a cornerback, that's a good game.
Yeah, there was one on like a man coverage all through to the end zone, and he broke up.
Oh, yeah, against Romeo, yeah.
Yeah. Y'all threw to him a lot. He threw to him probably most of the game.
He's a safety blanket. Most of the time, he's always open. He's a route tech, and it's annoying because it's like we constantly putting ourselves in 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s because we'll get 4 or 5 yards on a run, and then we'll fucking jump off sides, we'll fucking hold, or we'll do some procedural bullshit because this team's fucking undisciplined. Unfucking disciplined. No fucking technique at all. It's just ugh.
Let me move to the defense a little bit. Michael Parsons has been, getting a lot of pressures and sacks all year. We kind of contained him today. What do you think we did differently?
Just got the ball out. I mean, I wouldn't say you contained him because it wasn't like Bryce Young took any like 5-step drops and held the ball for 4 seconds. I mean, I knew it from the Dallas game what the blueprint was to beat this Green Bay Packers defense, which was negating the quarterback can negate the pass rush just as well as any blocking scheme, and that's by getting the ball out. I mean, and like I said earlier in the show, Micah Parsons said everything right at the beginning. When you only give up 100 yards passing in today's NFL, you shouldn't be fucking losing. You shouldn't be losing. Now, I think there was a couple times that we got close. There should have been a holding call, but it's NFL refereeing. What do you want? What do you want? Yeah. I can't sit and bitch over every single almost because they had a chance to sack him and didn't. And he has a bum fucking ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And that 1 and 8 where he rolled to the left, looking at the pass, and got a first down. Come on, man. You got to get to him. This daunting pass rush just didn't do a lick of shit. And they didn't have an opportunity to do anything either. The opportunities weren't there.
Mm-hmm. There was also another play that Bobby Valentine was covering Tet, and
oh my God, yeah.
He had a pick, and looked like Tet just kind of ripped it out of his hands.
That's the difference. That's the difference between a 1st-round pick and a 7th-round pick. Right, like right there. If you want to see what the difference is, there it fucking is. Because Carrington Valentine couldn't. That's the guy I've been talking about. Where he starts talking shit. He's a great player.
Got him locked up on that route, man.
Yeah, I mean, we really held Tet in, like, just not that only that play. That one I'm more than happy to give away because I'd rather have somebody that's trying to be in position than Keyshawn fucking Nixon on a 3rd and 8 when you have trips to the right, you have a motion, and he's over there fucking looking at the goddamn crowd. Like, that's a benchable offense. What the fuck are you looking at? When you are looking to the sideline, and it ain't even your sideline, he was looking at the Panthers sideline, probably talking shit. And that fucked everything up because Nate Hobbs couldn't communicate with you. It was that one that just got over Nate Hobbs' hands. I think it was Leggett when Leggett went down with that head injury. It was that same play. That's a fucking benchable offense. Fucking pay attention. Jeez, I only ask you to pay attention for 10 seconds every minute and a half. Fuck. But we held Tet in better condition than I thought we would. But it also goes into the fact that you only threw the ball 20 times. You only threw it 20. Tet got 4.
Bryce Young didn't even play well. So,
and I still knew that even if he played well, the better Bryce played, the less Rico got the ball. I was hoping Bryce fucking did more. Yeah. As the game was going, I was hoping, like, God, if we can we would get a stop on 1st down against Rico. And then he'd run it again and get 7 yards. I was like, fuck, we can't even like stop this guy at all.
Yeah. So as a person watching Bryce Young from an opposite team, he didn't have a great statistical day, but it seemed like, he would play good when it matters.
Yes, right.
Now, do you think that's more important than his overall play week after week, just play when it matters?
No,
And
yeah.
being the game manager, it's more or less,
Well,
because because Rico, he's putting the team on his back,
yeah.
honestly. Bryce Young's not going out there throwing touchdowns, but he'll get you a first down if you need it.
Yes.
So, is that more important? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. No, I think you're
That make him a franchise QB is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he really is. You got it because you also have to temper your expectations, right? As a fan base, as a person watching the game, looking through your eyes as a Panthers fan, because this is only his third year starting, right? He has had two different coaches.
Yeah.
So this is only his second year in this Dave Canales system. It usually takes year 3 to get in fully entrenched into the system. The thing that should give you hope and not put him in a game manager and whatever shout you always want to put him in, every big throw he needed to make, he made in this game. When you needed him to make a throw, he made that throw. And I think that was more impressive than this 11 for 20 stat line. Like, his stat line looks terrible for an NFL quarterback today. However, probably 4 of those 11 completions were on third down when they needed this. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he needed to stay on the field, needed to complete it. He had one to Coker there at the end, right after the 2-minute warning, that bought you an extra 40 seconds right there. There was big-time completions in this game. It wasn't 11 checkdowns.
Yeah.
It was probably, I think it was like 7 passes down the field of the completions of actual down-the-field completions. And then you had some little dinks and dunks, screen passes and stuff like that. But he played fine. He played fine. He made the plays when he needed to make them.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Other than the interception, I don't really have any complaints.
Ball weirdly died. That was weird just watching. I was like, oh, I'm thinking of a pass breakup because Keyshawn Nixon's in a great position, and I'm like, oh, okay, probably. And then the ball looked like it got up to the point and then just died.
Yeah, it was like that same pass he threw against Miami to Xavier Legette. It seemed like it was that exact throw, and it looked like it was going to be on target, and then it just, like you said, it kind of died. And I was like, did someone tip it at the line? I was like, I guess that wind just caught it.
It was swirling, man.
Yeah, and also that's another thing about Bryce. He just doesn't have that great arm strength or that tight.
Not a good zip.
So that's just another thing. But and there's so many times he was just jumping in the air throwing the ball. It's just funny to watch, man. It's interesting, So, but I'm starting to see the improvement. I'm starting to see more confidence. But the thing is, we've gotten our run game going, and I think
that's what's so important.
You have to establish the run game because we work a lot of our stuff off of play action, and that's a good thing with Bryce is he can get out in that play action, kind of run around in the pocket because that's what he does best. So,
well, what do you think the next evolution of the Panthers has to be? For next week, you got New Orleans next week. You got to be able to go in there and take business because there's a lot of big games next week in the NFC. Give me 1 second. I know because the Packers play the Eagles, right? So the Packers play the Eagles, the Patriots play the Bucks, Rams, Niners, Lions, Commanders. So there could be a lot of moving parts in this NFC. So the Panthers are in prime position to again take a game on the Buccaneers, be within 1 game back. Going into the Saints game after this game, you're going to have some momentum. There might be an emotional drop-off just because you came in real hype for this game. It seemed like the Panthers didn't want no part of being embarrassed again.
Yeah.
Where's the next step in the evolution of this game?
I think it's got to be establishing the deep ball because, as great as Rico's running right now, I think you saw today he's got some hurting parts going on. You can only, when you're getting 25 carries a game, you're going to be hurting as a running back. So, and we're only halfway through the season. So I only expect him to get a few more games like this before, he's really starting to take a toll. And then, Chuba might have to kind of take over some of the carries. So, And that's what I think we've been missing, man, is our deep ball, is really letting Bryce, rip it downfield. Or I don't know if he's not confident or Dave's not confident in him to throw it downfield, but that's what we've been missing, man. We need those deep shots to keep the defense honest, because they like to play, like you saw multiple times today. They knew we were going to run, but they were just stacking the box. And they do that. Teams do that time and time again because they know Bryce is going to chuck it 40 yards downfield. So we need to figure out something with the deep ball. And, we got Jimmy Horn. Let's let him run downfield and let it rip, see what happens. If the Saints team is the best team, I think we can experiment right now with halfway through the year, and we got a tough schedule ahead. So.
Yeah, and hell, this Saints team might be missing a whole lot of pieces going into this game too. I'm really excited to kind of see what happens over the next 2 days because, guys on that Saints team like Alontae Taylor may be moved. Chase Young might get moved. They're already kind of battered and beat up anyway, even though they played a decent game today. Who did they play today? All I know is I kind of kept up with it a little bit. They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Never mind, they didn't. They got beat by 20 by Tampa. Never mind. Oh, is that? No, that wasn't this week. That was last week. I knew they played a better game today. They played the Rams today. They got housed by the Rams in LA, 34-10. That's a damn good Rams team. And this talking about. I want to talk about this game just real quick. And it's not anything about this game. It's something I talked about all week. Good teams beat the hell out of bad teams. Right? And I think a lot of people thought this Carolina Panthers team was a bad team. I didn't. I stood on it all week where I'm not looking past this team. This team has a lot of good spots. But Super Bowl winning teams just trounce them. There leaves no doubt. Except for this fucking Packers team, because I've been seeing it for feels like a decade straight. Where they just let them hang around and they self-deprecating mistakes hurt them. And I think the Panthers took it to the Packers today. But I don't know if they took it to them enough to get an overall victory. I really think the Packers did a great job of hosing themselves all game. And that's not to take anything away from the Panthers, but fuck, they really did a good job beating themselves today.
Yeah, no, they did. The penalties, it seemed like when you guys committed the penalties when it really mattered, like it really helped us out in field position, or, it's like your penalties really helped us out. Honestly, when you look at the penalty differential, I think you guys only had 2 more for like 10 yards, so it really wasn't that big.
It was when they came. It was when the penalties came.
Yeah, it was the situation, and that really hurts. And also, we won the turnover battle. We had 1 turnover to your 3.
Yep.
And, like I said,
everything you needed to happen in this game happened. Mm-hmm. Like everything, it was the perfect recipe for a Panthers upset win. Like you the weather played on both sides, but it definitely hurt the Packers more in this passing game. You got win on turnover battle, time of possession you won, rushing yards you won. Like everything that you needed to win this game. And hats off. Mm-hmm. Truly. Like I'm not a sore loser or anything. I'm a realist when it came. Like we got our ass kicked and we kicked our own ass. We got our ass kicked twice today. Got our ass kicked by the Panthers and we kicked our own ass. Like that's just a tough pill to swallow.
Now I know you blame Matt LaFleur a lot for this game,
yeah.
And rightfully so. I know he's not perfect. Nobody is, but I saw Jordan Love throw 2 horrible passes that resulted in 2 turnovers. What do you think of that, man? If he didn't throw those turnovers, you guys might have won this game.
No, I don't mind it. No, I don't. I never want him to get gun shy. I want Jordan Love to always be ready to pull that trigger. Always, always, always. I don't, because you're not going to gain any confidence. You're not going to feel anything about yourself when you're gun shy like that. I never want him second guessing it. So, when you take as many chances as Jordan Love does down the field, you're gonna get some interceptions. Naturally, you just rely on your defense and not allow that interception to turn into points. And it looks terrible on the film and watching it. You're yelling at the TV. But I'd much rather have a guy that's trying to go out there and make a play and has proven that he has made that play, more than a trigger shy guy, out there just I don't want him to be happy with a 10-yard throw. Like I don't. I want him hunting and hunting and hunting. He's done a better job of the checkdowns, but sometimes he gets himself in trouble where he has a guy wide open. I know that first drive we had Lucas Musgrave going over the middle. That would have been a touchdown if he threw it. And he decided to throw a check down. Yeah. So he's been more cautious of his deep ball throwing. I think maybe he just pressed it a little bit today, with his deep ball. I think he was really trying to press a downfield game when 15 to 20-yard throws would have gotten it done.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, man, and that's good philosophy to have. You got to be patient, especially with a guy who's been playing good and who's got a lot of good deep throws. So,
well, here's the counteract to. I'm sorry.
Because I was gonna say I wish Bryce would throw more deep throws.
And that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. He's like, I'd rather be on this side of the fence with 276 yards and 1 interception than watching a quarterback that I drafted at 1 not throw the ball. Not press it down the field. And I think a lot of that has to do with coaching, and I think that maybe one of these times Jordan started seeing where the play calling was going. It's like, I got to go make a play because coach ain't going to call a play for me to make. I got to go extend myself because he hit 1. He should have hit 2 out of those 3 deep passes, and I don't count that 4th and 8 as a deep pass. That was just absolute clusterfuck when he's running around playing NFL Street back there. Just should have never called the play to begin with. But the 2 out of those 3 that he actually was sitting back there and threw it up there, Matthew Golden, that's a catchable ball. Tough. Very, very high level, but catchable ball. You got both hands on it. Catch the fucking ball. And then Christian Watson caught one. And then that other one, I almost think the wind just got it, man. Because he threw it so high.
Oh, anyway, he was draped, man.
Oh, he was, absolutely.
I was like, what in the world?
Well, he's made that throw before, though. That's the thing.
And I'm like, he's literally surrounded by white jerseys. I'm like, what is he thinking?
He's made that throw before, though, Drew. I'm telling you, he's like, he only throws that because either he's made it in a game or he's made it in practice. Like, he has some of the highest level of confidence I've ever seen from a quarterback to just throw the fucking ball. Yeah. But that for me, I want that. Football's supposed to be fun and exciting. Right? Yeah. And those type of throws are fun and exciting, especially when they work. It sucks when it sucks when it doesn't, but I'm not fucking paying YouTube TV for Sunday ticket fucking $45 a month to fucking not watch something cool and exciting. I'm okay with it, and it's fine. And before we got to talk special teams, Drew. Oh. But before we talk special teams, let's drink some beer.
Last sip. Saved it.
We appreciate you guys sticking around. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on the Instagram at the Beers and Balls Show. That's the absolute easiest way to get in contact with us. Because we want you on the show. We want you talking about whatever team you are. Rams fan, Seahawks fan, Commanders fan, Raiders fan. All the fans. We want you on the show talking about us with your team. So make sure you do those 3 things. Reach out to us. We'll get you on here. And now, back to the show. And welcome back into the Beers and Balls Show. We're going to finish off this show with the last few bit of topics. This one is probably going to get me more heated up than any all, Drew. It's goddamn special teams. But first, before I get into my pain and suffering and despair and wanting to take the drywall off my wall, where was the dirty kick from the Panthers today? I was expecting the dirty kick and just didn't happen at all.
I don't know if it was the wind or he's just kind of... I don't know. I think it was the wind that was kind of throwing him off because he was kicking it, but it wasn't landing in that front 20 like he usually gets it. And honestly, the past few games, he's been kind of missing it. And when you miss it, they start at the 40. So I think Dave's kind of been like, hey, man, just, give it a little more juice, just to be safe. So I think that was it, because, that's got to be it.
And we're talking right now. It's, watch during the Sunday Night Football game. The current score of the Sunday Night Football game is 31-7, Seahawks over the Commanders. This is just, humble pie where shit could be worse. As I'm talking from a guy that his team lost today, shit could be worse. You know what can't be worse? Brandon fucking McManus. Talk about a guy who can't be worth a lick of shit the last 2 games. You're at home. You kicking Green Bay, you're fucking round. Like, come the fuck on. And it was so fucking hilarious. It was actually kind of laughable. When he missed that, 42-yarder that went wide left, and he just... And I was like, God, yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, and the thing is, we have a second kicker on our 53-man roster. If Brandon McManus is kicking next week, I'm going to get a gang of fools with pitchforks. We're going to go march down 1265. Because you can't do worse with Harvasek. The man went 4 for 4 and has the franchise record for longest field goal made.
Yeah.
You can't do worse. Make Brandon McManus a fucking healthy scratch because you can't do worse next week. You fucking just can't. You can't. You fucking can't.
You see, this is why teams should draft top kickers in the later rounds of the draft.
Yeah, but fucking kickers off the street can kick from 60, but when you got a fucking kicker with a quad injury who's missed, I think 4 kicks, maybe 3 or 4 kicks, he's missed 2 today. He missed 1 last week at least.
You know, I think it's something with these older kickers, man. I just think the young guys, they got the juice.
Give me the substitute teacher. Bring in the substitute teacher. That's what he is. He was going to be a substitute teacher. Green Bay called him. It doesn't cost you anything more to just sit down McManus. Like, fuck, make this a kickers competition. Every other position is a competition. But except for the kicker at some point. That has to get shored up. Has to. Because especially at home, there is in no world should you be missing kicks at home. And I get it. Elements are elements. You're a goddamn professional kicker. I don't talk to kickers. I don't talk about kickers. I don't talk about kickers till they give me fucking problems. Fucking kicker gave me a problem today. So now I got a problem with a kicker. Bring in Harvasek. I know it's the easy cop-out because you're paying Brandon McManus. But you know what? When you miss 3 fucking kicks, go sit the fuck down. Go sit the fuck down because guess what? Harvasek couldn't do any fucking worse. It's the same goddamn problem we had last year at the beginning of the year. It's going to be the same goddamn problem until we find another Mason Crosby.
You see how important kickers are, man? I'm trying to tell you.
Hey. Let's talk about kicking. Motherfucking Fitzgerald missed the kick 2 after Rico gave 1 too many pumps. Doesn't you know it's 1 pump? 2 pumps get you a flag.
So are we establishing the NFL rule finally? 1 pump.
It's 1 pump. It's always been 1 pump. Always.
No, I thought it was 3 pumps.
No.
3.
It was 3 a long time ago. But now, a lot of kids watch. It's only 1 pump. Pump.
They didn't notify us of the rule change.
Hey, you got to know, though, when you do something gesturing, your genitalia, 1 pump is enough.
Man.
1 pump.
Well, all right, be honest, though. Did you think
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I really didn't see it. I mean, I saw a replay of it, and I
didn't see the celebration.
I didn't see the celebration. I walked out of the room.
It was first of all, I didn't even know what they were doing. I thought they just did
3 years ago, Rodgers got flagged for the same thing against the Buccaneers in Tampa. He wouldn't want to look around.
Yeah,
pump, and got flagged for it. You get 1 pump. You get 1 pump. Which is so crazy because it would have been so crazy that it actually costed you guys the game too.
Yeah,
because if we look at it, if we had a competent kicker in Green Bay, the Packers win this game. If they have a competent kicker, one that can just understand that they've been playing in a city that's fucking always windy in their own home stadium, just make kicks. And they're not they're difficult kicks. A 48-yard is like a chip shot in today's NFL. It's a fucking chip shot. When you have kickers today, the fucking Jaguars kicker made a 68-yard field goal. Aubrey could hit it from 75. It's a chip shot. If we played the what-if game, that'd be a fucking billionaire. However, we live in reality. So the Packers need to re-look at their fucking kicking game. Now, were you mad at Rico when he gave the 2 pumps, got 15, and then he got a Fitzgerald miss kick? I mean, what were you thinking after that?
I was mad at the refs, not Rico. I mean, it was just like it was such a not even a bad celebration. It wasn't long. Like I don't see what the deal was. It was just whack, man. So I blame the refs. I think they were just being soft. You know.
Boy, well, they were very.
They would throw a lot of flags, man. They were like it was laundry all over.
Get out of the game, man. Like, I don't want to fucking see you, Lance. I don't even know what Lance Berkman or something like that. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see you. You're not important. Like, let these guys play because that's what these two teams obviously wanted to do. Because I think out of like the 5 holding calls the Packers got, 2 of them were like egregious enough to throw a flag. But if you ask both these teams, get the fuck out of the way. Let us play ball. Because it wasn't like on most of those holding calls, it wasn't like Jacobs got like some 20-yard gain and it was called back because it was so bad. Like it was 2 physical teams playing football. NFL refs need to stay the fuck out of the way in games like this. Stay the fuck out of the way and let these 2 teams have a fist fight.
No, I agree, man. It was like almost every other play. At like the second and third quarter, it was like, golly, man. Like, and it just kills the flow of the game for both teams, and that's why I think it was such a low-scoring game, man.
The NFL refs couldn't help but listen to themselves talk and get some screen time because they want to go home to their family and be like, "Hey, did you guys see me out there? Did y'all see me out there? Yeah, you like that? You like the form? You like the form? You like the illegal formation? You like the holding? Do you think I had good form? Like, and it's just inconsistent too. Like week to week. The biggest thing that's killing the game of NFL is not hard hits. It's not head injuries. It's fucking inconsistent fucking officiating. It's so inconsistent. You never know what you're getting week in and week out. You fucking never know.
Yeah, like the amount of money the NFL spends and this whole review team in New York and all this, like I don't see why every penalty they can't review, really fast, within 15 seconds and be like, hey, we're going to overturn this.
Like the obvious ones. Like, and they did that twice today where, like, I don't want to do PI. Like, they tried that, didn't work. And until they outlaw underthrown balls for pass interference, I don't want to even talk about reviewing PI because that just takes so long. But, procedural things, offsides, false starts, things that can just speed this game up and make sure that things are right. Make sure they're right. Holding, you can't do that because it's so subjective and you put so much power into one of 6 referees on the field. You put so much power in them. Just wish there was some sort of consistency. And it's something that's been such a conversation for years. And people say, oh, you need to make the refs full-time. Making them full-time doesn't mean that you make them better. I mean, you look at how many people work a full-time job and they still suck at it. It doesn't. Just because you work full-time somewhere doesn't make you good. Yeah. You got to keep them accountable.
And now, to your point, now being an NFL ref is definitely not easy. I probably couldn't do it.
It's fucking volunteer.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's pretty tough.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you see a lot of things, but still, like,
yeah.
How do you officiate a game and not understand the inconsistencies? And I'm sure they're trying to do the best they can. But when a game is flowing like it is today, get out of the game.
Well, that's the thing. Like, like every job nowadays, especially in like a billion-dollar corporation like the NFL, I mean, they got people on top of people on top of people that help with every single aspect. And you got, 5 guys on the field with no technology, just looking at the field with their whistles, and you're not helping them. You're not giving them people from New York saying, hey, this is wrong, or you need to overturn this. They need help, man. It's not like they're not perfect. They're going to make mistakes. And it's every job has technology that helps. Why not we do that with the NFL? And, that's the thing. The refs are going to make mistakes.
Sure, you're human. That's the human element of it. And I definitely agree. Now, I don't want to be in the conversation of having AI do anything with this, but I think there needs to be a definite conversation where if it's quick enough and NFL can communicate with the refs fast enough, don't have a stoppage in the game, right? Like don't have a stoppage and we're gonna go to a review for this. But if the NFL sees something that's like clear and obvious, call down, and before the even next play is snapped or even in the huddle, you can overturn it. Like if there's some like, and it's a slippery slope because I just have ever since Micah Parsons has been a Green Bay Packer, it feels like they refuse to throw a flag for holding on us because of the talent that he is, and he's supposed to play through it. When you see so many like, I get it, holding, like he's holding every play, but how egregious is it?
Yeah,
and it just didn't feel like today they allowed the egregiousness to come out. They kind of just were looking at one spot without looking anywhere else to get those flags. They were all interior, like within the guard positions. So it's like, of course, there's going to be holding against a guard. Like it's just how it works. But I mean,
with the technology nowadays, there's got to be systems that with all the cameras they can set up. I mean, they could track this, and AI could literally be like, "This is a penalty. This is a penalty."
You would hope so, right?
Literally, dude, they can do it with pitches and everything, and baseball, and I mean, they could do it with anything. Like in tennis, like you see it hit the line, and it like zooms in and shows exactly.
Well, that's the problem with a game like football, where there's no like necessary clear cut like holding penalty. That's what makes it so subjective of the egregiousness of it.
I guess, like you said, because of the egregiousness, it had to be like 70% effectiveness or something like that.
Yeah,
to the point effectively affecting the other guy.
It would be their first step, in my opinion, to help NFL officiating is being able to overturn calls quick from New York.
What do you think about more referees on the field?
No, that just makes the game worse. It makes it slower. Because even though they have their fucking talking systems, they all still fucking gather together. Even though they're talking like we are, they still have to gather together.
There'd probably be twice as many flags, too.
Yeah, it'd be twice as many. The more you add, the more there's going to be. And that's kind of anything. You add more supervision to something, the more ticky-tacky it's going to be because there's more actual eyes on it. I just think that the best thing to help officiating right now is understand the flow of the game and not getting in the way. Because this was a back alley fist fight for a lot of it. A lot of this game was a back alley fist fight. When you have a total of like 45 runs, that's a back alley fist fight. It's going to be physical. There's going to be a lot of pulling and tugging. Stay out of the way. Because there was, like I said, out of 45 almost runs approximately, I'm not doing the math, I'm not a fucking rocket scientist, I'm just saying approximately 45 runs, and there's only like 2 egregious holding calls. Don't even call them. Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way. Stay out of the way. Let these 2 teams determine the game for themselves. I'm all a proponent of let these teams decide, because when you start throwing so many flags, it just starts tilting the field because you're getting automatic first downs. You're getting yardage. And when you're already starting to ball at the 35 and you only need 30 yards to get a fucking field goal, 2 10-yard penalties puts you in field goal range. Just about. Stay out of the way. That's all I ask the NFL referees is call the egregiousness, call the no-doubters, but if you think something's a penalty, keep that fucking flag in your pocket. And that's working with me and against me when I watch the game. I don't care. Let the guys that are getting paid millions of dollars determine the game. Not you you're making a mere whatever, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're making. Whatever you're making. I don't care. These guys are making millions of dollars to run this game that these players are making. Let them decide the game, not you.
100% agree, man. And especially when it's on offense and there's just holding call after holding call.
It's exhausting.
It is. Like, I understand a few, but, when it's like every drive.
Yeah.
Or every time you have a big play, it's like.
I get it. When you pull somebody down to the ground, that's holding. Like, there's no doubt. Like, there was one on Derek Brown where no doubt. And that's and more or less than that, that's on Josh Jacobs because he's not supposed to be over there. He jumped over to that side, and that left guard had to pull him down. Like it's more schematically. Like he did not. They deserved to get a flag there because one, it was holding. Two, Josh Jacobs, what the fuck are you doing over there? That's not the run side. But also, other ones, it's just like, that's not that bad. Like the one on that 4th and 1 that the Panthers had on the first drive on Isaiah McDuffie, is it technically holding? Yeah, but like it's not that, like that's not that bad. Like it's holding, but
yeah. Also, yeah, it's got to be situational.
It started there. That's where it started. Was the first possession with these assholes. It started right there.
Yeah, penalties definitely need to be situational too. You know, if you have like a run, a sweep to the right side, and you got your receiver on the far left side holding the cornerback, you know, it doesn't matter. It's not affecting.
Has nothing to do with the play.
Why are you going to call a holding call?
No,
you know,
and that's why I said about that PI is whatever he did to Leggett did not interfere with him being able to catch the ball.
Yeah,
you know, like he still took a step and a half or 2 steps. Elevated, had 2 hands on the ball, and dropped it. I was mad at the call, not the overall end outcome on how that's going to change the game. Yeah. I mean, the Panthers probably still score on that possession either way because they were so close.
Yeah.
But let's finish this pod out. We've been ranting for a while now, Drew. Last thing I want to finish with you is, you know, Packers play next Monday night. Would you think it's funny that they are favorited even after this loss to the Carolina Panthers, that the Packers are favorited by 2.5 points?
I'm not surprised, you know, because like you said, you guys seem to play good against better teams.
Same thing we talked about this week. They coming off an emotional win. They just didn't seem ready to play this game.
Yeah.
And that happens in the NFL. I mean, we saw plenty of teams. Let's just run down real quick before we end this pod. Let's run down a couple of upsets this past week. New England beat Atlanta by 1 point. New England's supposed to be a juggernaut. The Chargers beat the worst team in football, Tennessee Titans, by 7. Pittsburgh beat the best AFC team in the Colts by 7. The juggernaut Colts by 7. Denver beat a CJ Stroud-less after like the first quarter or first half by 3. Minnesota beat Detroit. Minnesota, who didn't even want to start the quarterback that they have, beat Detroit by 3 points. Of course, your Carolina Panthers beat the Green Bay Packers by 3 points. Jacksonville, 1 point to the Raiders. And then Buffalo over Kansas City by 7, but Buffalo always beats Kansas City in the regular season, and Pat Mahomes beats them in the playoffs. So there's no surprise there.
Did Miami win?
No, they didn't. Thank God they didn't. I only owe you 1 shotgun tomorrow. I only owe you 1.
Yeah, I know.
And we're gonna have a fun show tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to do a show with you tomorrow. I'm coming on with my buddy Brock, who's a Cowboys fan. I think we're gonna do it midday, because his Cowboys play Sunday night, and I don't know if we'll have enough time. What time do you usually become available?
What during the week?
Yeah, like tomorrow. Like, would you be midday available or no?
Nah, bro. I'm available like during the week at 8:30.
Yeah, we'll come back with you on Tuesday. So I'm gonna do one with a Cowboys fan because they play my bro. Or let's just cut that whole part out. Okay, boom. After that, team suck. Yeah. So we'll get back with you on Tuesday, Drew, to kind of do another recap of the entire week. We won't talk Packers Panthers because we've kind of beat that horse to death today. But we'll do a quick reaction to kind of all the rest of the games. Gives us both time to kind of look over some of the actual games on how they play, because stats will only tell you so much. But I'll be back tomorrow talking a little bit of Dallas Cowboys football going into Monday night. I'm sorry. And then Tuesday, we'll be back to recap and look forward to Week 10, Drew. Week 10 of the NFL season. It's going by too fast.
It is, man. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Well, with that being said, we appreciate the hell out of you guys stopping by, checking out the video, watching all the YouTube shorts, watching all the Instagram reels we put out. We are at 33 subscribers, so we're looking to get to 50. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you love us. We love you, so if you love us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. I'm so serious. We are so serious. We want to have you down in the third box. We want to have you on a third box right below us talking about your team. That's our end goal, is to talk ball with everybody. We want everybody to feel like they have a voice in this community to talk about the goods, the bads, and the uglies of what happened on every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. We're tired of talking about the Packers and Panthers. We want to talk about every team in this universe. So if you like us, you think we're cool, you want to drink beer, drink whiskey, drink vodka, whatever it is, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below, follow our Instagram, send us a DM, and we'll get back to you and get you on this stream. Drew, any last words for the viewers?
I just thank everybody for listening, man, and to all my fellow Panthers fans, let's keep pounding.
That's right. All right. We love you. Good night.